again, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of Big Time Sports. Hope you'll join us for the next 25 minutes as we talk high school basketball all over the area. You may be tired of all the cold weather, all the snow, but you do have something to look forward to. How about high school tournament basketball? That's right, it starts this week and it goes on all the way through March until we declare our 7 state champions down in Dayton. But before we get there, let's check some of the big scores, some of the big wins from last week in regular season basketball play. How about North Canton Hoover? They were our guests last week. They had a huge win. They played Hoban Saturday afternoon over in North Canton, and in overtime, the Vikings win that one 59-58, one of their biggest wins of the season. Alliance ends their regular season on a high note. They beat New Philly 53-42. Jackson over Louisville 62-58. Massillon continues to be one of the best teams in Stark County, one of the best in northeastern Ohio. They beat Glen Oak 78-72. Lake with a rivalry game beat Greene 57-49, and Canton South over Coventry 52-38. Which brings us to this week and tournament action. There is one regular season game left. Should be a great game. That'll be Friday night over in Jackson. It'll be for supremacy and bragging rights in western Stark County. That's right, Massillon, the Tigers will be at Jackson. It'll be senior night over in Jackson. Should be a big crowd. If you want to see a good high school basketball game, that may be the place you want to be on Friday night. Right now, let's check on some of the big tournament games coming up in the first round. How about March 3rd at the Fieldhouse? Jackson at McKinley. It'll be the third time these two teams play. Jackson is the number 10 seed. McKinley, the number 4 seed. Should be an outstanding game. Also, D1, March 3rd. Glen Oak will be up at Perrysburg. Long way to travel for Glen Oak. Division II, I think Hoover got the best draw of anybody in the area. They have a home game with Eastlake North. They'll have 3 games before they go up to the district tournament or the regional tournament up at Kent State, but I think Hoover got a great draw. Perry has to go to Twinsburg. Massillon will host Greene. Now that Greene's getting a little better every game. They played McKinley twice this year, played the Bulldogs tough both times. Massillon a heavy favorite. Don't be surprised if that game is a lot closer than people think. That'll be a first-round tournament game, Greene at Massillon. Alliance is the number 1 seed. The Aviators will take on Firestone. That'll be a home game over in Alliance. Meanwhile, Lake will be up at Akron to take on the Golden Rams of Garfield. Northwest will be at Kenston, and Central Catholic will be over at Berkshire. Now, Central Catholic makes great tournament runs. They play a top schedule every year. They are the number 10 seed in Division 5. Berkshire is the home seed. They're number 7. But I look for Canton Central Catholic to go up to Burton Berkshire and win that game and continue to have a pretty good tournament run. But a lot of tournament action. We'll keep you updated as we move along in the tournament. Right now we're going to take a break. We'll come right back and talk more high school basketball all over Stark County right after this timeout.
Thinking about selling your car? Make it fun at Ferris Chevy Toyota. We buy all cars, any truck, any SUV, and we pay top dollar, even if you don't buy from us. It's fast, easy, and yes, car buying is fun at Ferris. Visit us on the Wabash in New Philadelphia or start online at ferrischevytoyota.com. Ferris Chevy Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
You're only as good as your people. And what we've done here is we've created a culture where people flourish.
We don't want it to be a transaction. We want it to be something where there's a consultative approach, a relationship that allows us to really, one, ensure our customer the right way, but then two, to let them understand the value of getting to work with us.
It's an extreme amount of satisfaction for this team that we have right now. We've developed a team that is solely based on relationships.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Matt.
And we're West End Pizzeria. Here, every pizza starts by hand. Fresh dough, real cheese, and toppings piled high the way you like them. It's not just dinner, it's that warm hometown flavor that keeps friends and families coming back. Dine in, carry out, or grab a slice on your way home. West End Pizzeria, located at 130 West Lisbon Street in Waynesburg, Ohio. We'll save you a slice.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports. As we said, it's my favorite time of the year. How about high school tournament basketball? We're going to talk a little bit about tournament basketball, but our featured team this week, the Canton McKinley Bulldogs, Federal League champions. Outstanding season. Sean Witherspoon is here, the head coach at Canton McKinley, in his third season as head coach of the Bulldogs. And Coach, welcome to the show and congratulations on the Federal League championship. Number 4 seed, I think, in Division I Northeast. Season's not over, but you got to be happy and proud of the way you guys have played thus far this year.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. Definitely, grateful to, go 12-0 in the Federal League. It's a tough league, tough coaches, tough players. We was able to run the table. I'm very proud of what we did to this point, but looking forward to the tournament for sure.
Exactly. You always play one of the more challenging schedules in the entire state of Ohio. Now, I'm sure you do that on purpose to get your guys tournament ready, but how do you schedule and why do teams want to play you? Because, you're one of the better programs in Ohio. Is it tough scheduling non-conference or not?
At times. I definitely want to kind of, schedule teams that are not similar to Federal League teams. Get that type of different type of team to see that we may see in the tournament. A lot of teams want to come to the field house and play too. So
exactly.
At times it can be tough, but for the most part, it's been pretty fine.
That's a luxury to have in your home court, the field house. I think one of the best venues in the entire country as far as high school basketball. I think everybody that's played high school basketball or coaches basketball would love to play on that court. That's kind of the nice incentive you had to lure them in to play the Bulldogs.
Yeah, for sure. Great venue, a mini arena.
Exactly.
To me, it's the mecca of high school basketball.
It sure is.
Definitely blessed to be there.
I've got to ask you about the one game that people are still talking about. That is your comeback win over Glen Oak, a game we did right here on Big Time Sports. I think you were down, correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, I think you were down 28 in that game, came back and won it. Question, have you ever been in a game like that as a player or as a coach, or is that as a one-time deal that you can talk about?
Definitely a one-time deal. I'm glad it was entertaining for you, but very stressful for me. The game was crazy. Down 28, points is ridiculous. But credit to my guys, kept fighting until all zeros, and we came out with the win.
Big question. You're coaching. I'm up in the booth or down the sidelines. At what point during that game did it come into your mind, we're going to win this game? We're down 28, but I think we can come back and win. When did that finally hit you? I
think going to the fourth quarter. We kind of was rolling. Cut the lead. I think to like 15 or something like that. And guys was building confidence. Every possession. We're getting stops defensively. And I kind of see the Glen Oak players a little folding a little bit. And like I said, my guys kept fighting. We got the win.
Unless you've played or coached at the college or high school level, it's hard to talk about the way momentum can shift in a game, either football or basketball. And that was a game that shifted momentum unbelievably. And again, I felt it as a broadcaster. You felt it as a coach. And I think the fans felt it too. And that's a strange feeling. Unless you've experienced that, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, definitely. Once that momentum gets going, and either way, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
I was calling timeouts, or Rick was calling timeouts, whatever the case may be, trying to switch momentum and things like that. But once it gets going, it's tough to stop.
Exactly. You brought 3 of your players with you tonight, Coach. And you got a young man sitting next to you, I know you're proud of. Why don't you introduce him and what it meant to the team this year to have him on the floor?
Yeah, we have Davey Thompson here, 3-year starting point guard for us. Very heady. Controls things out there for us, and an extension of a coach out there. Running the offense. Great defender as well. So very happy to have him on my side.
Sure. Welcome to the program. Point guard, handle the ball a lot. How much do you think, along with Coach Witherspoon, point guard to me is the closest player to the coach because you guys got to be in tune. How does that affect the way you play? Do you try to freelance, or do you simply coach or play the way the coach wants you to? How does that work for you?
It's kind of off of a feel of the game. Sometimes you want to get freelance, so you don't want to get too robotic in the game. And then there's at times, like in the quarters, fourth quarter, close, tight games, you want to start listening to your coach a little bit more and really get like more detailed stuff. You don't want to be as freelance out there when it comes down to them games.
Yeah. Tell us about preparation for this year. You knew you were going to have a good basketball team. You got a lot of guys back. You got some talented young guys coming up in the program. What was it like going through June, which is always a key month for high school basketball? When you came out of June, what was your thoughts about this year's team?
We worked a lot. Probably our hardest working summer, just because last year we knew what it take. We lost in the regionals regional finals, so we knew what it took to get there. So just conditioning, we got stronger as a team, we got mentally stronger, we got better in shape as a team. So coming to season, I felt pretty good of our odds winning the state championship.
Coming out of June, how much basketball did you continue to play? I know June's a big month. You guys are out playing different places every weekend. When June was over, do you take a little break physically and mentally, or just keep playing hard? What happened this past summer?
After June, I had one more AU tournament, so it's a little bit more basketball, but I gave my body a little bit of time to rest. You got to be able to rest so you can play the whole season. But I just kept working on my game, getting in the gym, watching film, studying the game.
Yeah. With that in mind, how much rest and how much hydration and the right food, how much does that play once the season starts? Because you're normally playing 2 and 3 games a week. How important is it to get to bed early, get that 8 hours? Is that something the coaches talk about and you talk about to stay fresh?
Yeah, they talked about it a lot. I experienced it last year. I didn't get enough rest, and I had a minor injury. So going through that, it taught me a lot about my body, how to take care of it. So just drink, like you said, drink a lot of water, getting fluids, 8 hours of rest every night. I really stuck to that. So that's how I'm able to stay healthy this whole season. Sure.
Talk about that Glen Oak game. Coach and I just talked a little bit about it a few minutes ago. What were your thoughts in that first half when it seemed Glen Oak couldn't miss? You know, you're playing, they're hitting everything. When did you feel like you guys could make that big comeback and win it?
I believe that we had a chance to win the whole game. That's just how I feel when I'm playing the game, that there's never a point in time that we can't win. But we just, as a team, we just had to stay mentally focused, stay together as a team. And when we did that, we ended up winning.
Is that one of the biggest comebacks you've ever been involved in as a player, that Glen Oak game, or is there something else that happened previously that's comparable to that?
No, that's probably down 28. Yeah, that's probably the biggest comeback I ever experienced playing basketball.
What about your future? What happens after McKinley? Do you want to continue to play basketball, and where are we going to see you in a few years? What are some of your goals?
Yeah, I want to continue on the next level. Where that is, I don't know right now, but I would definitely be playing on the next level.
Coach, it's always great to have a point guard. I mean, you guys got to be in the same wavelength, and it's good to have somebody you can trust and somebody that can handle that basketball for you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, very knowledgeable. You know, he's a coach's kid. You know, he's a gym rat. You know, great kid. You know, definitely, like I said, happy to have him on my side.
Well, thanks for coming over tonight. Best of luck. I know there's a little lapse now before you play tournament ball, but hopefully you guys will make a big tournament run. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Okay, we're going to take a break because we have 2 more McKinley Bulldogs who want to talk some basketball with us. So don't go away. We're going to take a break and be right back with more Big Time Sports.
Thinking about selling your car? Make it fun at Ferris Chevy Toyota. We buy all cars, any truck, any SUV, and we pay top dollar, even if you don't buy from us. It's fast, easy, and yes, car buying is fun at Ferris. Visit us on the Wabash in New Philadelphia or start online at ferrischevytoyota.com. Ferris Chevy Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
Altman is here for you, in your community, because you matter. We're proud to be the area's first and only independent health system. We are one team, joined together and committed to one mission, to lead our community to improved health. And we've always been here, dedicated to providing you with the very best in care, wellness, education, insurance, and more. For your community and for your family, Altman is always here for you.
Scammers are always looking for their next target, but you don't have to be one of them. With BBB Scam Tracker, powered by the Better Business Bureau, in partnership with Amazon and Capital One, you can easily report and look up scams, and it's free to use. Learn about scams, get tips on how to avoid them, sign up for alerts, and more. Visit bbb.org/scam tracker and help put scammers out of business.
Well, if you're a Canton McKinley basketball fan, you have come to the right place because we are talking Bulldogs basketball tonight with head coach Sean Weatherspoon, who will take on the Jackson Polar Bears on March 3rd. That'll be the first round of the Division I Northeastern Ohio Sectional District Tournament. Bulldogs hoping to make a long tournament run, and we'll be right there with them on Big Time Sports, following them all the way through the tournament. And Coach, you got about, what, 2 weeks off. You played, I think, Westlake on Tuesday. Now you got 2 weeks off. A lot of coaches like to play a lot in a tournament. They feel maybe teams will get a little rusty, but talking to you before the show, you like that 2-week break, maybe to get refreshed and get remotivated and ready to go again.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, got some time to get guys healthy, as well as work on some stuff they need to work on, you know, to be efficient and ready to go in the tournament. You know, kind of used to it too. You know, last couple of years it's been the same way. Had a couple weeks off in between our last game and tournament. So, you know, we kind of know how to navigate it, you know, but like I said, got to do some work and be ready to go.
That was probably, you'll probably answer my next question. You got 2 weeks. You're Federal League champions. You were 12-0. Is it still time to get better? What kind of things do you want to work on to get better before you make that tournament run?
Yeah, definitely, man. On both ends of the floor, I feel like we haven't really played our best full game yet. Even though, like you said, we won the Federal League and things like that. But you know, still stuff to work on offensively, defensively, you know, execution-wise. But I think once we get to that point, you know, we'll definitely be in good shape. What
are some of the things you've done well this year? If you could look back at the regular season and really play the way you want to play, what are some of those things you did well?
I think when we are at our best, you know, we are defending at a high level.
Okay.
You know, we're getting out in transition, we're sharing the ball offensively, we're dominating the glass on both ends of the floor. You know, we have done that in spurts, not for a full 4 quarters, I don't think yet. But like I said, once we do that, I think, you know, we'll be a tough out.
Yeah, from watching you guys a couple times this year, it looks like you're pretty deep too. You brought some young kids off the bench that I know you're looking forward to coaching next year or two, but you're pretty deep. How deep do you think you go? 8 players, 9, 10, or what do you think?
Yeah, man, you know, I think we can go 9 to 10 for sure.
Okay.
Some nights maybe 11. You know, a lot of kids, you know, probably my deepest team to date. You know, but that just means, you know, if the guy in front of them ain't getting the job done, you know, next man up mentality. You know, and guys have been, you know, waiting for the opportunities, and when they get in there and they make the most of it, you know, and they're playing well.
You know, as you well know, there's great tradition at McKinley. Everybody wants to be a McKinley Bulldog basketball player. How much do you monitor what's going on with the youth teams down in the middle school? Do you pay attention to what's happening down there?
Yeah, definitely. You know, always got my hands on, you know, making sure you know, things are running smooth.
Yeah.
You know, we have a youth coordinator that does a great job for us. You know, always, you know, in contact with him too as well. We got youth leagues. You know, I'm always in contact with the middle school teams too. So, you know, definitely, you know, the future, you know, is important. You know, and I definitely want to be in tune with it all the time.
Got a young guy sitting next to you, another player that I know you're proud of. Why don't you do the honors and introduce him?
Yeah, Javion Carter, senior guard. You know, combo scorer. You know, does a lot for us offensively as well as defensively too. Playing some good basketball for us. You know, like I said, happy to have him on our side too as well.
Well, Javion, welcome to the program. Watch you guys play, and you specifically on our TV games. You play with a ton of energy and really love to play basketball. Can you remember the first time you thought about being a McKinley Bulldog and started working with that goal in mind? Can you remember back maybe when you were a young kid or not?
I would say my whole life, you know. My parents came to this school. It was just always something I was going to do, is come to this school and play basketball.
Can you remember the first time you were in a varsity uniform, you're on the bench, the coach points to you, and you go into your first varsity game as a Canton McKinley Bulldog? Can you remember that, and what was the feeling like when you finally got in and played as a varsity player?
It was back when I was a sophomore. It was a blessing. It was a lot of nerves going, but I was happy at the end of the day. I was happy to get the chance to go out there and play.
Yeah, we talked to the coach a few minutes ago about what you guys have done well this year. As a player, if you could grade yourself, what are you doing well? What are you most proud of? And look at yourself and say, what do I have to get better at as a basketball player? What would it be?
I would say effort all the time, defense, rebounding, and being more of a leader and a teammate. And I would say I'm scoring the ball right. That's about it.
The best part of your game, you think? Can you shoot the basketball, defense, or is it something that really you have to sit down and think about a little bit?
I would say my mid-range is definitely the best part of my game right now, but I'll continue to work on my 3-ball and other aspects of the game.
Yeah. What's it like on a Tuesday or Friday night putting that McKinley uniform on? As we said, you look forward to it as a young kid playing. Is it still exciting to come out for the pregame warm-up? People cheering, maybe the band's playing, the adrenaline starts flowing. What's that like for maybe somebody that's never experienced that?
It's a blessing. It's fun. It's very fun. It's a great crowd most nights. It's a great gym to play in every night. It's a blessing.
Coach, you remember the first time you saw him as a young kid and said, maybe he's going to be a player for me someday?
Yeah, definitely. My first year here, like he was a sophomore year. Seeing him open gym, like the kid can play. Super athletic. Can get downhill, can score. Definitely was excited to work with him. Like I said, I'm just blessed to be here for 3 years. Hopefully we can end his senior years off on a good note.
We talk to a lot of coaches each week on the program, and one of the things they seem to agree on, one of the things they like most about coaching is see a young kid come in, maybe it's an 8th grader, 9th grader, and where they end up as a senior. That's got to be fun to see their development through the years.
Yeah, definitely. It's a reward for their hard work.
Yeah.
They put the work in, and they continue to improve year after year, and they see their improvement. And that definitely is a life lesson, and it's something that they can take, going on into adulthood.
Gotcha. Thanks for coming on tonight. I know you're looking forward to tournament play, and we'll see you on the court.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Thanks for coming over. Hey, we're going to take a break because we have one more. McKinley Bulldogs going to come up and talk some basketball, so we'll be right back after this timeout.
Thinking about selling your car? Make it fun at Ferris Chevy Toyota. We buy all cars, any truck, any SUV, and we pay top dollar, even if you don't buy from us. It's fast, easy, and yes, car buying is fun at Ferris. Visit us on the Wabash in New Philadelphia or start online at ferrischevytoyota.com. Ferris Chevy Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
With Bell Store's Bell Buddy Rewards, you save in-store and at the pump. New members receive 20 cents off per gallon as a welcome gift. Everyday savings are made easy. Instantly enjoy 3 cents off per gallon just for being a member. When you spend $25 in store, unlock an extra 5 cents off per gallon on your next fill-up. Buy 5, get 1 free. Track your drinks and earn free coffee, fountain, icy, and espresso with drink clubs. So start saving today. Download the Bell Stores app and sign up for Bell Buddy Rewards.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything was easy? Primetime Health Plan is easy to choose and easy to use. That's why we've had the highest customer service rating for 10 straight years. Call 330-363-7407 to get all the benefits you deserve. Medicare made easy with Primetime Health Plan. Primetime Health Plan is an HMO POS plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Primetime Health Plan depends on contract renewal. Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system.
Our guest tonight, the Canton McKinley Bulldogs, Federal League champions this year, undefeated in league play. Head coach Sean Weatherspoon is here. Coach, when we have our coaches on it, you can always give an opportunity to talk about your assistant coaches, and I know you got a good group you work with.
Yeah, definitely. 3rd year with them. Varsity assistants, Mike McCleskey, Jay Keys, Lamar Broyles, R.C. Hill, JV head coach Julian Wesley, and freshman coach Sean Moore. They all do a great job for me, and definitely grateful to have them in my corner.
How are those JV and freshman teams doing? Is there a bright future for Bulldogs basketball?
Yeah, definitely. JV finished 17-4 this year.
Wow.
And the freshmen, I believe, 12-4 and won a freshman championship, back-to-back years. So I definitely got some guys coming up.
Exactly. Got a young guy sitting next to you, I'm sure, is looking forward to continuing to play basketball for a long time this season. Why don't you introduce him?
Yeah, senior forward, Anthony Shavers, one of our better players, on both ends of the floor, great defender, leading scorer 2 or 4 this year, and another player I'm definitely happy to have on my side.
Yeah. Anthony, welcome to the program. I really enjoyed watching you play the last couple of years. Obviously one of the better players in the Federal League, one of the better players in the area. What did you do to get ready for this year, knowing that if you played your best, you could really lead this team to some great places? What was kind of your goals this summer?
Really just getting in the gym, work on my little things that I need to get better at, and focus on trying to get to where we want to get to.
Yeah. What's the best part of your game right now? I know you can shoot the basketball, you can rebound the ball. If you had to work on a couple things between now and when you take on Jackson again, what would they be?
Pretty much just being more of a leader, being more vocal, probably my ball handling. Yeah.
As a senior now, you've become kind of a team leader. And do you kind of lead by example, lead by talking to guys, or how would you define team leadership?
I'd probably say I lead by example, but I know I could be more vocal.
Exactly. Coach, we've watched him play, and you've coached him for the last 2 or 3 years. He is really an outstanding player. Has he reached his full potential, or is there still more out there?
Yeah, I think he definitely has more to go. You know, definitely has improved since I've been here. You know, sophomore year was playing more of a post player.
Yeah.
Last year, kind of, you know, expanded his game out to the wing, and this year, you know, doing a lot of things for us, handling the basketball, running offense, playing defense, and things like that. So the sky's the limit for the kid as long as he can continue to work hard, you know, and put the work in.
Anthony, we talked to the coach about guys got a 2-week break now. You mean you played Westlake this past Tuesday. Now you got to wait again till March 3rd. Do you like that, or would you rather keep playing, or what's your thoughts on having to wait 2 weeks to play another game?
I think the 2 weeks is actually good for us, so we can get in the gym, work on the little things that we need to work on. So we can execute when we come out and play March 3rd.
Yeah. Coach, again, when you bring players into the program, a lot of them aren't finished products. I mean, you got to fine-tune this and fine-tune that. Is there a lot of individual coaching that goes on, or do some of these players come ready to go? I'm sure there's some different type players that come into the program.
Yeah, man, you know, you're always coaching, always trying to get better. You know, everybody can get better. I can get better as a coach, too, daily as well. You know, but a lot of our kids do a lot of the skill work outside of what they do with us, too, as well. So they're gym rats. They want to be great. They want to get better. And like you said, as long as we continue to work, you know, the sky's the limit for us.
Yeah, as you look around the Federal League, we've talked to a lot of coaches. It seems like players are playing a lot younger right now. I know there's a lot of sophomores and freshmen playing key roles around the league. Do players come ready to play now because they're starting to play earlier because of the coaching they get in AAU, or is there still some we talked about fine-tuning players. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I think it's it depends on the player. But you know, like I said, every day you can get better. Every day it can be some type of fine-tuning. You know, especially with a young player. You know, the game is hard. You know, especially at the varsity level. And there's always somewhere where you can learn and get better. So like I said, but it's a player-to-player situation.
Actually, you know, you've got the talent to play at the next level. There's no doubt about that. What are some of your thoughts on after McKinley basketball is over about continuing to play at the next level? Is that something you thought about, or is that a goal of yours?
Yeah, it's most definitely a goal of mine. I'm already committed to Potomac State, and that's what I want to do. Continue. Okay.
And after basketball is finally over, what would you like to do as a career? Any thoughts on that yet, or are you just going to let basketball play itself out and see where it takes you?
Still undecided to see what I want to do after basketball, but basketball is something I really want to continue to do.
Coach, you've coached and played with a lot of great players. Some of the players that have come through your program the last few years, do you have some playing at the next level? Do you keep track of those guys that are playing at the different levels of college basketball?
Yeah. Currently, Jalen Jeter played for us last year. He's playing out at Blackburn, having a great year.
That's out in Kansas, I think, isn't it?
No, Chicago area.
Okay.
Yep, he's having a great year. You know, so keeping tabs on him for sure.
How do you handle the recruiters that come in when they're looking at a player? I mean, is that you got to handle them differently, or is that you take a lot of time with that, or is that, how do you handle that?
Yeah, man. You know, one of my goals, you know, as a coach, is to get these kids to the next level.
Sure.
You know, so you know, always trying to sell my kids. You know, being honest with the coach as well. And having a coach understand that I have kids that can play at the next level. You know, sending them film, talking to them on the phone, things of that nature. So, you know, always selling my kids for sure.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a great regular season. I know you guys aren't satisfied. You still want to.
No,
I know it's at the end of the rainbow. I know what you guys are shooting for. So, best of luck, and hope forward to covering you guys down the road. Thanks for coming over tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Go Dogs.
For the coach, my name's Joe Dunn. Thanks for watching. Back next week with more Big Time Sports.